things about conducting today with this band, the Spine Middle School Band, and guess what these kids are thinking right now? What do you think? They just played a concert at a national convention, and I'm holding them up here for another session. You know they're hungry. Some of them have to use the restroom. I'm sure the trombones are dying to go get something to eat. So anyway, that's the mentality right now, and I appreciate them being there. But on the session that was listed, it said rehearsal techniques, and then on another session on the FBA side, it said emerging artistry. But I really wasn't doing any of those things. I was just trying to get you to come in. So what I'm doing is some conducting thoughts with you and using some of these things with this band. And so I guess I'm going to call this session Teaching Through Your Conducting. And I think that effective conductors don't have to be pretty, elegant conductors. I think as many styles of people that we have out there is the styles of conducting. I think that good conductors have physical gestures that inspire sound, whether it's pretty or not. And so the things I'm going to talk about today, some of the mistakes I see people make, I make them. None of us are flawless in our conducting. It's just things I have learned over the years that I hope to share with you, some of the things that I've picked up. I think the other things that a good conductor does, and it was mentioned by Dr. Whitwell this morning, is that they have an idea of body language and how to use that. Because these kids will pick up on that. They'll read body language very quickly. I asked them, I worked with them a little bit one time this summer, and I said, guys, you ever see Miss Berry in the cafeteria or something? They said, yeah. I said, can you tell just by looking at her if she's had a good day or a bad day? Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. And if band class is after lunch, they have to maybe go to the clinic, you know, avoid that day. So they can read her body language from across the room, and they can read our body language as conductors as well. So I think good conductors kind of play into that code and use it. One of the things I think that you've heard the phrase that action speaks louder than words, and I think that ties perfectly into conducting. If we are talking to them about playing a certain way, and then we show a gesture that is contrary to that, they have to learn not to watch us, or either not to listen. One of those things they have to figure out if we don't make our actions match our words. So let's show them something. I'm not going to tell them what I'm going to do, so they just have to follow me. Let's play a concert F. Okay, concert F. I don't know how to do this. Maybe I can put this in here. Play loud and want to play soft. I just showed them. And body language, we go, give me more, hello, come on, everybody up, blah, blah, blah. They just see that. They see that. They see big sound. Body language. Holding the baby, bringing things close, soft. Tie into that. I just went like this before, and I went bringing these close, soft, and they played soft. Because I didn't have to tell them, they can just read that code. Problem is that we break our codes. I break it, we do. Okay, guys, I want you to play soft. I want you to play nice, soft, warm, good sonority, concert F, nice and soft, okay? I'm not going to play soft. No, because our actions speak louder than our words. And now that's an easy way to break our code and show a demonstration. But the fact is that we do that kind of thing all the time in our conducting. When they read in the music, they should see soft. Or we tell them softer there. And then we give all this energy to be loud. Because this says, come on. I could get this band up without saying anything. I could go like this. Don't do this, okay? Because I need them. But if I did, I could go like, you know, I could go down that step. stairs. I can get them out there, and I could just go, you know, sit down. I could do this, they'd sit down. Because they're just going to follow all of our little signals here. So I think effective conductors match actions with words, and they match body language with the music. So we either sensitize our students to our conducting gestures, or we desensitize them. They learn pretty quickly that you don't mean what you show. And this is what I think in conducting. Listen, these kids are playing in music in time, and it's rolling ahead. Once you get that thing started, it's rolling. And you rehearsed them, and you talked about this, and you talked about that. You stopped and did rehearsal of phrases, and don't breathe here, and softer here, and match articulation here. And then you get up, and you conduct a concert, and you can't talk to them as a conductor. You want to. What? You want to, but you can't. It's all silent. And so listen, when they glance up at you in a moment, they have to see a reminder, oh yeah, it was soft. Because they're playing, looking up, playing, looking up. And you want, your goal as a conductor is when they look up at you, they see a reminder in that moment of what they're supposed to be doing. And if they look at you in that moment and they see something contrary, supposed to be soft, and they see this, they have to discount what you're doing, translate your actions, and just remember what they wrote in their music, hopefully. Because you're giving them a different signal. I say match it all up. Use your conducting as a teaching moment and just make it all match. Don't make those kids translate what you're doing and figure out, oh, she means opposite because she told me soft, now she looks loud. Let's align our body language with our codes. I think we should empathize body language with the music. We should do that. And I just showed you one of the things that we could do to break down that with that concert F. Here's the other thing I think about with your conducting. I ask conductors sometimes, I say, are you a member of your own band? I'm like, well, of course I am. I picked the music up, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, no, listen, this is what I mean. Are you a member of your own band and when you are conducting your group? So number one, do they know what you're doing up here? If you go through the exercises to show them in beginning band, when you do that beginning band to play, you get all to breathe, beginning to conduct, beginning to start sound gesture, do they know what this is? And you teach them all of that. If you're doing things up here that they don't know what it is and you haven't gone through some of the warm-ups to show them your gestures, they haven't learned what you're doing, they don't know what that is. And sometimes you go through a whole year and you go, did you know what I meant when I did this? And they go, well, I don't know. I thought you had to twitch. What are you doing up there? We don't look at you. So they've got to know what you're doing up there. And number two, you've got to, they have to connect with you. I think the most important things for these students in this ensemble, or any ensemble, is to listen. You want them to listen. Please, listen. But while they're listening, they have to connect with you as a conductor. And how do you know they're connecting with you? You've got to look at them. And when you start looking at them, you'll start seeing one of two things. Either they start looking at you, or you start realizing how much they're not looking at you. And you can kind of go back and go, oh yeah, blah, blah, blah. So if you're doing all these wonderful things on the podium, and they're not connecting with you, it doesn't do you any good. They've lost it. We all know that point when someone's in the wrong place, you're trying to get their attention, and usually somebody in the back, right? Because if it's a flute, you just would have hit them, right? They're in the back, they missed it, and you're giving that stare, that look. You can hang the wash on the stare, the intensity of the stare. You know, there you are. But the kid's not looking, so it's not effective. So they have to connect with you, and you have to do exercises that will get them to connect with you. So one, you've got to show them what you're doing, explain it. Two, you got to make sure they're connecting with you. The other things that I do a lot of, I guess, I don't know if it's consulting, but talking to conductors. And I got a little bit of stuff I've put down that they do. Oh, there it goes. And these are little things that may get in the way of maybe being effective conductors. And they're just small things that make a big difference. And I wanted to just kind of show, because a lot of times we talk about what we want you to do in conducting, and this is kind of stuff I've picked up over the years that I see people do, that if they just change maybe that one thing, I think they would be even more effective in what they do. And here's one of the first common things I always see when I do one of these consulting with conducting. Oh, guys, let's start though. You got you have your book, the blue book. You have maybe number 95, around that about number 95. So, do you have that open out?
Yeah.
Oh, you're all ready for that. They can tell by my body language I wanted that flat. Okay, so here we go. Let's just start. Here's number one thing I see conductors do. Here we go. Chorale number 4. Here we go.
Where it says chorale number 4, is that right?
Hey, I'm just going.
That's fine.
Whatever they play, I'm ready. Good? I see the famous knee bend. And so, yeah, they'll start with a knee bend. They'll start. But what do you want? What are you desensitizing them to? You're desensitizing them to this. Because you can get a pulse from the top of your head. They can. From your shoulders. From something over here. But you want to control your facial expressions in here. You want to be up and do it here. If I do this, they can watch anywhere and get that beat. But my shoulder may not be as effective as the tip of my baton, because this is where I'm going to show them the articulation. So I think that's an easy thing for us to fix, but I see directors get into that habit. They breathe, really just, and we get the famous knee bend. And then they'll do it maybe on some transitional things. So I think that this may be the number one that I see, the famous knee bend. And I'll tell you, that's why I don't like it as much, because it takes away from the effective part of your baton. Here's the other common one I see, eyes down for conductor on beginning of pieces, ending of pieces, and any transition. Those are your danger zones for conductors in ensembles. Starting it, stopping it, transition. So they really need you. And listen, it's a habit. Listen, I see it at Florida Southern. You get these college students that are conducting one. Hopefully they don't have bad habits. But some people are born with them, I guess, because day one, when you do that downbeat, they've never done it before, down they go. You're like, buddy, what are you doing? To stop that. So, guys, let's start to do that Bach chorale again. Here we go. And you're not going to see this probably, but I'll do it with them. Ready? And again, they'll do it, but you're not connecting with them. And you want them to connect with you. You're desensitizing your students to your conducting when you don't get your head out of the score and look at them. And listen, I don't memorize my scores. So I don't have everything memorized, and to do it without music when I'm there all the time. Because it's a comfort zone for me to have my music. It's like a little blanket, I guess, a musical blanket. But I do have to make sure I'm looking at them. So if there's one thing you can do is look at them on beginnings and ends and transitions and get rid of that knee bend. Okay?